Alrighty, it is 23 hours and 52 minutes into the day of October 27th, 2015. I wasn't right about the date. I got the date right. The prior ad hoc note was the time was very approximate. Let's put it that way. There was no exactness to the time. Well, anyways, the reason why I'm doing the note now is the leading edge of the storm has arrived. The wind has picked up. And so given the fact that it's arrived now, but it's been here for about a half hour, since about 11:30, I would say we should start seeing some interesting stuff basically around midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. That's where we should start seeing some interesting events occur. Let's see what actually comes in and what doesn't come in. They have advisories up for Toronto. If you check the weather sites there, and we'll see what actually comes out of it. I said what I see here is not necessarily reflective of what happens all over Toronto. It seems to be in some cases that when other sections of Toronto get hit harder than others. So we'll see what ends up happening. And again, this is why observation is actually done, is to see where the difference in variations are. And then of course, if you going to find a pattern to it, then you can possibly go in and say, okay, well, what's going on here? Why do you have this specific difference here? And that's what science is. And for myself, this is a rather enjoyable office because I've got my phone out here, I've got mobile internet out here, so I've got my office out here as much as possible, and so it is a rather enjoyable office. It's not a mundane, humdrum, if you will, cubicle. So, and it's typically not 9 to 5. So, anyways, I will see you in the next ad hoc note. If anything more actually occurs tonight, I will come back with another ad hoc note, and we'll see you then, if that happens. If not, I'll see you, and there's nothing else further to come, then I'll see you tomorrow for tomorrow's ad hoc notes. Alright, let's take it easy. Okay, we get this centered now. So it is 1 hour and 24 minutes into the day of October 28th, 2015. Yeah, it's just about 1:25, 1:30 in the morning. I'm still out here. I just finished checking the satellites, and the images that I'm bringing in show that the storm is somewhat stalled, not coming closer. What appears to be happening is that Lake Ontario appears to be acting as a barrier, and rather than the storm simply coming through, it seems to be bouncing off of it and going around. And this is what talk about the so-called rigid behavior. Is that there are certain objects that, let's call them objects anyways, like a Great Lakes. Even though the Great Lakes do not extend physically upwards into the sky, the storms nonetheless seem to view the Great Lakes as a barrier, and when it comes up to the lake, it's instead of going straight over it, it simply it appears to bounce off it. And this is sort of what you see in terms of ripples and ridges as the wake of one storm collides with another. And this is again something that's not expected in fluid dynamics, is to have systems nonetheless wakes and bows. Wakes and bows are created by boats, like if we look at fluid dynamics, by objects in the water or objects in the fluid. When the object moves forward in that fluid, it creates a wake in front of it. And we see that, if you go boating, you see the ripples in front of the water. You can see, if you look behind the boat, you can see the ripples as well, connecting to that sort of the bow. But we don't expect that in the atmosphere. We expect the atmosphere to behave as a standard fluid. But that's not what's happening. What you see is you actually see systems as an object, and you see a bow or a wake in front of it. And so this is sort of what's happening here as well, is that you have the system coming in and there's a wake in front of it. And now what happens to the system really depends on how it interacts with the what it's running into. And so I'm going to extend tonight's observation out till about 2:30 in the morning, maybe 3 o'clock. Usually, how long I observe depends on what's actually happening, if there's something interesting on the horizon. But if it stalls out by 2:30, 3 o'clock, then I'm just going to go inside, because that's a possibility. We might not get that much of the storm here. We do have the wind, but it's died down a bit now. So, and the cloud cover is just about the same. So I'm going to end that here for now, and if anything interesting comes up, anything else interesting I need to say, I'll come back and say it. Well, hello everybody. Yeah, it's just a little after 3 o'clock in the morning on October 28th, so yes, it's a little after 3 hours into the day of October 28th, 2015. I've been waiting for the storm to come in. The wind is here, definitely, but the rain seems to be stalled. From what I can tell on the satellite, it's stuck on the western edge of Lake Erie, coming towards us. So, I'm going to give it another hour till about 4 o'clock in the morning. And if things don't come in by then I'm going to call it a night and go inside. But this is, this is the way things go. It's not always exciting out here waiting for the expected weather to come in. But yeah. Anyways, I'll see you in the next ad hoc notes.